Hi everybody, Kris Kazian, Fire Chief Windsor Severance Fire Rescue. We're here at our museum today to read you a story. I know the last few days and the upcoming weeks will be challenging for everybody as we try to stay home and keep our social distancing to a maximum. So we're reading you stories. You'll see all of our firefighters throughout the weeks here, just trying to make your day a little bit brighter and give you something forward to look forward to. I'm reading you Curious George and the Firefighters here, so you ready to get started? I am. This is George. He was a good little monkey and always very curious. Today George and his friend, the man with the yellow hat, joined Mrs. Gray and her class on their field trip to the fire station. The fire chief was waiting for them right next to the big red fire truck. "Welcome," he said, and he led everyone upstairs to begin their tour. There was a kitchen with a big table, and there were snacks for everyone. The fire chief told them about being a firefighter. George tried hard to pay attention, but there were so many things for a little monkey to explore, like that shiny silver pole in the corner. Where did that pole go? George was curious. Why, it went back downstairs. There was a great big fire truck, and there was a map of the city, and there was a wall full of coats and hats and big black boots. George had an idea. So first he stepped into a pair of boots, and next he picked up a helmet. And then finally George put on a jacket. He was a firefighter. Suddenly, ring! Then all the firefighters rushed in. "This is not my helmet," one said. "My boots are too big," said another. "Hurry, hurry," called the fire chief. A bright red light on the map of the city told him just where the fire was. There was no time to waste. Oh, one by one, the firefighters jumped on the fire truck, and so did George. The fire truck with all the firefighters sped out of the firehouse, and so did George. The siren screamed and the lights flashed. The truck turned right, then it turned left. Woo, 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 went the whistle, and George held on tight. See George right there? He's holding on tight. And just like that, the fire truck and all the firefighters pulled up to the pizza parlor on Main Street. Smoke was coming out of the window in the back, and the crowd was gathering in the street. "Thank goodness you're here," cried the cook. The firefighters rushed off the fire truck and started unwinding their hoses. They knew just what to do, and George was ready to help. He climbed up on the hose reel. One of the firefighters saw George try to help, and he took George by the arm and led him out of the way. "A fire is no place for a monkey," he said to George. "You stay right here where it's safe." George felt terrible. George sat on the bench and looked around, and next to him on the ground was a bucket full of balls. George reached in and took one out. It fit in his hand just right, just like the apple he had had for a snack at the fire station. That was tough. A little girl was watching George, and he tried to give her a ball, but she was too frightened. And George then took another ball and another ball. "Look," a boy said, "that monkey's juggling." The boy took that ball from the cage and tossed it to George, but it went way too high. George climbed up on the fire truck to get it. There he is on top of the fire truck again. Now George had 4 balls to juggle. He threw the balls higher and higher and higher, and he juggled with his hands, he juggled with his feet. He could do all kinds of tricks. The boy threw another ball to George, and George threw a ball back to the little boy. The little girl reached down and picked up the ball too. Soon, all the children were throwing and catching back and forth. The fire chief came to tell everyone that the fire was out. Just then, the little girl laughed and said, "Look, Mommy, a fire monkey." "Hey," called the fire chief, "what are you doing up there?" "What a wonderful idea," the little girl's mother said to the fire chief. "Bringing this little brave monkey to the fire, helping all these children who were frightened." "Oh," the fire chief said. "Well, thank you." Before long, the fire truck was back at the firehouse, where a familiar voice called, "George!" It was the man with the yellow hat. "This little monkey had quite an adventure," said one of the firefighters. "Is everyone all right?" asked Mrs. Gray. "Oh yes, it was just a small fire," said the fire chief. "And George was a real big help." Now the field trip was coming to an end, but there was one more treat in store. All the children got to ride around the neighborhood on the shiny red fire truck, and they each got their very own fire helmet, even George. And it was just the right size for a brave little monkey. Right up there, see him up there? Perfect size. So that is Curious George and the Firefighters, one of my favorite books. Now I hope you guys all have a wonderful, wonderful time. I hope you all stay home and understand the importance of that. And we make sure we social distance and keep us away from all the things we're trying to do right now. I know it's tough. But us firefighters and people in public safety, thank each and every one of you for staying home and trying to stop this situation we're all experiencing. Have a great day. Wash your hands. Take care.